Well, the forecast on being weather on Windows 10 was wrong. It said it was supposed to start the precipitation at 9 a.m. this morning. Started about 9 p.m. last night. I just wanted to look at this window. Looks like the caulking came apart there. I didn't get as much on that seam, it appears. I'll get another coat of caulk on that. This side a little bit too, right there. It pulled apart. I don't think any water went in those small gaps. If it did, it was negligible amount. The forecast, which I'm not sure I'm going to trust it since it was so wrong today, says we're supposed to be low 70s to upper 80s for the next 10 days, and mostly just middle of next week is the 80s. So it should be comfortable weather for working on the roof seams. That's something I'm going to have to get on. Also have to do a little bit of yard work at Mom's. Been putting off some things there with her eyes, etc. Just more things I'll be working on. Well, I've been scraping, trying to get this seam exposed so I can reseal it. And I'm using a putty knife, scraper, razor scraper, and stainless steel scourer, because it actually seems to do a better job getting some of the finer stuff off. It's taking a lot longer than expected, but I think I've got it figured out now how to do it. Part of the problem there's actually two adhesives, or two sealants already here. One of them actually feels like dried Elmer's glue. The other one's silicone. The problem with silicone is silicone and fiberglass are not friends. They do not, silicone will not seal fiberglass. It looks like what they had in there was a latex caulk, which is what I'm planning to replace this with. And then I'll also put the EternaBond tape over that. The front seam here, I don't know what is going on there. That's going to be a lot of work. I don't know why this coax cable is here either. It has cable wired into the coach, so it doesn't need to have additional cable. That's something else I'll look into while I'm up here. If I'm sealing the roof, I might as well do it all. This is taking longer than expected, but I'm going to keep working on it. I will run, after I get these cleaned, I'll run a bead of caulk in that seam just to make sure that it's sealed. I'm not going to leave it exposed. But the main thing I need to do is I need a taller ladder. So I'm going to do that and get back on this. The prep always takes the most time. I borrowed a little giant, and it has definite advantages. One, it's over 10 feet tall. The RV's over 10 feet tall, and it's taller than it. It also has the advantage of being able to work from either side of the ladder. Another great feature. The disadvantage, as I see it, since there's only one, no planks, standing on this small of a rail, I mean, one knuckle width on my finger is uncomfortable. This one has the two where they slide together, so that's better. However, I'm not sure if that's where I'm going to be standing, and it just makes for an uncomfortable work position to stand on this ladder. But I'm going to crawl back up there and see what I can do. I figure I'm about 10% done. Well, maybe not 10%. Still need to do some more work on that other. However, there's the seam on this side. and it goes all the way back to the back. That's a lot of seam that needs to be cleared and then resealed. Well, I went and got me some green scrubbies, and they're actually taking that residual silicone off pretty good. I'll still have to wash it. I think I'm actually going to get out the compressor and blow this off as well when I get it done. This is going to take a while. The temperature is already getting uncomfortable for being out in the sun. Just went behind a cloud for a minute, but it came back out. I'm gonna keep working on this. I'll wait probably till it cools off this evening and see what I can get done. So this will be an ongoing project at the rate this is going. Don't have anywhere to get it out of the sun, so I've got to work when I can be comfortable doing so. I'll get back to it as I feel comfortable in this heat. Well, it's starting to shade from the tree to the west. It's close to 6 o'clock. It's still warm, but there is a slight breeze, and this is going to be a really tedious, monotonous project. I don't think I'm going to keep doing a whole lot of video on it. I will do some, but I'll have to find something else to make videos about as well as doing this. So far the green scrubby is working, but I don't want to leave any of this residual on, and my scraper blade went to replace it, and this is what came out of the package. I guess it got wet, and the paperboard that's around it held the moisture and kind of did some interesting texturing to it, but not really helping the edge. I'm going to work on this and move back further down. I'm all the way at the front now. I'm going to move back down, work further back. I'm also going to probably reseal that window since it needs it. I just wanted to get this little front section done, and like I said, I'll have to think of something else to do a video about because this is going to be real boring and tedious. I just ran down to Ace to get some replacement blades. These were the ones that were in this case that had gotten wet. While I was there, I actually had a thought. Where I get the refills at Ernie's down the street here, they have these cards to, you buy 12, you get the one free, and I always forget the cards. I leave them on my desk or on my shelf. I don't put them in my wallet because my wallet I put in a pocket that's hard to get into, so I leave it. And so I asked him about a fishing license holder, and this was actually free at the Ace down here local, Buck's Ace Hardware. So I got it and I put a little chain on it, put it on my mug. I might actually keep a hold of those for I don't know, a day or two. I got these. Those do look kind of cool. It's rust, but it's not really rust. Kind of blackened on some of them. This one particularly. This one was the one that was in the knife. It just wasn't cutting very well. The edge was definitely degraded from the moisture, but they do look kind of cool. Somewhat abstract artistic. I'm gonna get back on that project. It's cooling off, but I'm still thinking of something to do for another thing to do videos about, because this is going to take a while. I'll probably be at least a couple weeks. I might hit the highlights when I start putting the caulking and the seams together. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. But I'm not going to go through the tediousness of cleaning those seams. Well, I don't want to leave huge pieces like this. A piece like this, I'm not so sure what I'll do with that. And pieces like this, I'm not worried about at all. I actually took a piece off the EternaBond, and it'll definitely cover. So I'm not really concerned. It's got a little bit on the end that was still sticky. I think I'm also going to go down this seam on the front. I am going to go across the top, but I think I'll go all the way down to the window. And the seam on the back, I'm not sure how much of that's going to get done. It definitely needs some work. But that was just me thinking on this. How much it's going to take to get this clean. And like I said, this I can see that there's it's got a lip on it, so I'll do more on that. I'm not going to worry too terribly much about areas like this where it's just smaller amounts. And this one, I'll probably leave this one. This one I'll work a little bit. I'm just not going to get too carried away, because I think it'll still stick around those small areas. But these I do want to clean up more. Just thoughts. Well, I spent about another 20 or so minutes working on that roof seam. I think I might have got a total of about 5 feet done. I'm gonna just run a little more silicone here where this shrank on me. I did put it on kind of in a hurry and tried to fill a fairly large gap. I don't have a rag, so this is going to be interesting. I usually like to have a damp rag while I'm working with caulking, but I don't have one, so well, all my fingers I think are now covered with caulking. Probably gonna have to turn the camera off with my nose. Thanks for watching. I'll come up with something else to do videos about. If you like, subscribe, thumbs up, or share.